Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Epic MW.
Okay, so yeah, welcome to this thing.
The Epic MW's podcast of destiny. What are the four sections?
What are the four sections? They are tropical discussion, which is either topical or about birds.
Nice. Okay. What's the next section?
The next section is the only thing I know in Swedish.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I don't actually know anything in Swedish. It's the title refers to someone else who isn't here.
So that's our healthy living section, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like about sports sometimes, or things that are more interesting than sports that we can sort of vaguely classify as sports.
Nice.
Yeah, and there sounds good, which is not necessarily about things that sound good. So, yeah, these titles don't really actually apply that much to the things. It's just they just sound good.
Yeah. So that's like movie review and stuff, isn't it?
Yes, reviewing of just whatever we can sort of get our hands on. And then wild card.
That's it.
Yeah, just wild card.
Cool.
Time for tropical discussion. Tropical discussion.
Do I need to throw a pen then or something for tropical discussion?
You can throw a pen if you want.
So, tropical discussion. We randomly decide whether it's going to be something topical or something tropical. So it's either with birds or about birds, isn't it?
Yeah. So if we're not talking about birds, then we later on add our sort of stock bird sound effects onto the background of the conversation.
Cool. But we need to randomly decide it. So I'm going to throw this pen. If it points at away from me, then that will be about birds. If it points towards me, this is the pointy end, then it will be with birds.
Right. That's away from you, isn't
it? It's about birds then, isn't it?
Is it? Which one did you say?
I can't remember now. I think it was about birds. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Oh, we didn't plan for that.
Right. What's everyone's favourite bird?
Oh, we've done that before. You wanted to talk about ducks.
I've held a golden eagle before, handheld.
Have you? Or did it hold you?
Training. Yeah, it was trained bird. Golden eagle's the best. I've held most eagles, even an eagle owl as well, but never a bald eagle. I want to go all the way to America to hold a bald eagle. Want to have the hat trick.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever really held a bird, except for when they're little and they fall out of trees. Do you know what I mean? So little hatchlings, sometimes they fall out of their nests. So I've held them like little sparrows and things, because putting them back in the nest or taking care of them or whatever. But you're not meant to touch them, are you? You want to be careful about that. Tell me about ducks.
What's the greatest thing about a duck?
Its beak looks like a dog's face.
Yeah, it's often fun to feed them bread, especially the little ducklings.
Yeah, that's true.
Except where do they get the taste of bread from?
Well, why
do they like bread?
In the wild, they're
like there's a Lee Evans joke about David Attenborough. Imagine David Attenborough commentating over bread. A dog is it? Here's a nice loaf, a duck eating a nice loaf of bread. It's like, why? Where did they come from?
I'm going to find you a picture of this. There you go.
That'll work great on a podcast.
It will. I can't even find a very good one.
That image like
the thumbnail.
For the podcast, yeah.
So.
Oh wow.
That's a duck's bill. It looks like a dog's face.
It looks like it's got little eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and a little black nose and little ears. To begin with, I was a bit disappointed. I didn't think it looked like a dog's face at all. But the more I look at it, the more it looks like a dog's face.
Make sure you save that image because
Okay.
Because otherwise, this won't make any sense.
Next section.
Next section.
Seamlessly.
Seamless. Well, that was a bit of a seam, wasn't it?
And we'll have the music in between. Read it off the box.
Yes. The only thing I know in Swedish. What do you know in Swedish?
Nothing.
That's the end of that section.
What about Swedish Chef? Anybody know about Swedish Chef from the Muppets?
Yeah.
No? I'm assuming he makes meatballs.
Well, no, he's Ichigo.
What does he
What about
make?
any ABBA songs? Know any ABBA songs? They're from Sweden.
ABBA's from Sweden, aren't they?
Yeah.
Talking of Sweden, I was in IKEA at the weekend,
Yeah.
and I know this isn't sports related at all, although it's a long way to walk around the store, isn't it? Because you've got to take the long way around. So that's cardio.
It's good exercise.
They've changed their bed sizes. There you go.
How dare they?
I know. So they used to sell them in European sizes, which is slightly different to our like king size, standard size, whatever. And now they sell them in normal, well, what we think is normal bed sizes, so English bed sizes. So their king size is now about 4 inches less wide than it was.
You should boycott them.
It's only 4 inches. That isn't going to concern you, Dom. You're only 5'7".
If I lost 4 inches in height, I would be
Yeah, it's not gonna
still
happen.
taller than Luke. Still taller than Luke.
James's feet always stick out the end.
What, of the bed?
Yes.
Are you more than 2 meters tall?
I don't know how tall is 2 meters.
6'6".
No.
How long's the bed then? I thought it was 2 meters. I only bought a bed like 2 days ago. Maybe it's 1.80 meters.
Well, I'm 177.
Do your feet stick out the bottom of your bed?
Yeah.
Have you got a really short bed?
No.
This is not sports related.
Apparently I'm 5'9".
I'm 5'7.5", and the half is important. I think we failed at the sports section.
Aren't we going to talk about lightsabers?
You're in charge.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about lightsabers.
So that's pretty much my conversation then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
But you're interviewing
lightsaber
James.
training. So lightsaber training. So basically, I've done multiple courses of it through conventions and other means. And basically, they basically took some of the principles from the films, and it is more tiring than you would think it would be. It's not as because Dom's done a bit of it, haven't you, on my filming stuff? So
Yeah.
you know how rigorous it can be. There's 7 forms in total. There are.
With
Do you want to interject?
With some of them consisting of several different variations.
what makes them vary? Was that like left-handed, right-handed?
Well, there's like a Jarkai variant where you use 2, and then there's a variant of the 5th form, which is more centered, which is centered to Anakin's form, which is Gemso. So form 5 is about redirecting. So they'll redirect blaster fire is its main principal form, and then there's
Is that like a defensive style then?
yeah, so it's basically blast and deflect. You know, in the movies where they blast,
Pew,
they
pew, pew,
yeah,
pew.
so they blast and deflect. But there's a variant where
Sound effect.
there's a variant where it's saber to saber, so you counteract the sabers, which is Anakin's main form when he fights Count Dooku in Revenge of the Sith.
So in like not in a movie, in like real world situation, say you wanted to learn lightsaber battling, do you think starting off with fencing would be a good idea?
Nope.
No.
Completely different principles. The only thing that fencing could come into is Mikoshi. That's
Form
the second form, which is form 2. So you can take some principles from that, but it's mainly that you need a lot more footwork,
It's
and
the
there's a
one-
lot more of your upper body.
It's the one Count Dooku uses.
Okay. So
So-
why isn't it applicable for the other ones?
Because fencing's only in one stance, so you only move your legs and your arms. You don't. With the training, you need to move your whole body, because you have to use your whole body in lightsaber
There you
training.
go. So what would be a good starting point then?
A good starting point would be to either look at local places where they're doing it, or watch internet videos of training, because there's loads of training websites where you can train in certain forms or whatever. But you're
Okay.
gonna have a lightsaber in order to do it. So basically, you just have to watch the videos
So is it-
and then try and get some other people interested, because you get better by sparring with people. Because you need to keep constantly fighting people. Because if you're just going to fight, practice for yourself, you're not really going to get anywhere. Because you could be completely rubbish at it without even knowing it.
Okay. Luke, you got any questions? Because we're going to start. We were going to do fencing, weren't we? But maybe it's not fencing. Maybe we need to do something else. So I know the nearest place that does like actual lightsaber classes is a company called Ludo Sports, who I think came from Spain, maybe. But they do their training in Bristol.
I've got some links on my phone from the convention.
In which case, we'll put links, possibly if we have time, in the description for this podcast. Should you wish to become a Jedi, Ninja, or Sith?
I'm pretty happy to train some people for free.
Sith, I think, often use Form 7.
Why are they numbered?
There's different variations, I think, on stuff. So
7's a prime number, by the way.
it's
None
mainly
of
because
you were here for that joke.
the
it's
Jedi
right.
will
No one-
they'll ignore the
Well.
the Jedi don't teach the 7th form. There's a variation which is Vapor, which is the form that Mace Windu uses. Because
It's considered dangerous.
Isn't that the whole point?
Yeah.
Dangerous to use.
What, for the person who's using it?
Yes.
it's also dangerous in actual combat too,
Hmm.
because it requires a lot of anger and emotion. So when you get
Ah.
angry, sometimes your chops and strikes can actually be more physical. So it's actually kind of dangerous to use on the field. So most instructors don't recommend you use it unless you are really trained.
Okay.
And plus, most of the movements don't really work in training. So the spin that Darth Sidious does in Episode 3 wouldn't really work in a sparring duel, because you could just they could literally just catch you and it'd be over. So they only really look cool in choreography in the films.
There you go. I think that's sport.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So it sounds good.
Sounds good. Jack, I need you. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Thank you. What about it? What's in this section? What's going on?
Logic, it says here on this box.
Okay. Tell people about Logic.
Well, Logic, editing software. Software that you use to edit
Edit what? On what? To do what?
audio on what were the questions again? Right, so yeah, Logic, it's an audio editing software thing that we're not using right now.
No, we're not. We've gone back to the old days.
Yes.
Classic Audacity.
Classic Audacity.
Old classic.
Yeah, I was trying to think something and it's just
It
not going to
sounds
work.
like
is
it should.
Claudacity? It's when Santa Claus is in a large city. Claudacity.
And what's the difference between Logic and Audacity?
Cool, you can interview James and Jack.
Well, for one thing, Logic just like looks cooler because like Audacity has a bit of a sort of Windows 95 look to it.
It's great.
Yeah. Whereas Logic is more sort of sort of sleek and just better looking. But like sort of more importantly, it has like much more sort of sophisticated like options for editing audio. Like with Audacity, you kind of just record it and then just move stuff around, and that's sort of it. But with Logic, you can like put on a sort of compressor to like lower all the volume of everything and sort of equalize it and get rid of background noise and stuff, and it's a lot more sort of useful and a lot of options for sort of making stuff sound better than it did just sort of as recorded.
Huh.
Yeah.
There you go.
And also it looks cooler.
It does look cool. What computer did you use it on?
Some sort of Mac thing.
Yeah. Logic's on a Mac.
Yeah.
And when we use Audacity, we use it on a Windows computer. Because Macs are expensive.
Yeah, I want a Mac.
I want a Mac too.
Just
Robert
can't
doesn't.
afford one. My PC keeps blooming freezing.
What else? What else do we do differently with Audacity to Logic? Anyway, no, we're not doing that. We're talking about what we like about Logic. So this is a Logic review.
What do we like about Logic?
It looks cool. You've covered that.
Yeah.
It's more sophisticated.
I've never used it.
Me neither. Well, no, I have, but I don't know what to talk about.
So the editing software that we've been using the last few weeks is what we're talking about. What we like about it, what we don't like about it.
Well, I think it's just fine.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I don't know whether it's because of the way James has got it, James Zero has got it set up. But obviously he uses an audio interface, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Which you know how to set up, don't you?
Hmm.
Jack, do you know how to set that up, the audio interface?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Robert, you set it up as well, didn't you? The audio interface.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if that's part of what makes it better or not. I don't know. To be fair, I never plugged in a MIDI system. No, we did we?
Didn't we?
I don't know. Into Audacity, did we do that?
Not until not until Audacity. For some reason, that sentence doesn't.
I think it's quite good. I mean, my main problem with Logic is how expensive it is. Because Audacity's
That's
free,
true.
isn't it?
At this point, Dominic realizes that Luke is stroking his knee.
Stop stroking my knee.
Do you want to be alone?
No. Yeah. Is that Logic review done? If you've got money, buy Logic. If you don't, use Audacity. It's free.
Yes, that's logical.
It is logical.
Can you do like a Spock voice?
No.
No.
Can you do a Spock impression?
No.
What?
I'm trying to work on Liam Neeson at the moment.
Can you say that's logical as Liam Neeson?
Qui-Gon or Brian Mills?
This is logical. This is Liam. See, I'm working on it.
That was alright. Say something that you normally
This is
say.
Liam Neeson recommending you to lose logical. And if you don't, I will find you, and I will kill you.
Nice.
No.
What's next? Oh, I know what's
What is
next.
Nothing is next.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. What?
A camel is really a rather efficient animal.
Welcome to our wildcard section.
Wild card. Yeah.
Favourite pizza topping? Go.
I don't eat pizza, so
Ham and pineapple.
You have pineapple.
Ham. No, I've never had ham and pineapple.
I just don't. It's not something that should go on
But then
pizza.
again, you're vegan. You don't eat.
I can eat pineapple. I should be complaining more about the ham and the cheese on the pizza, and the egg in the. Oh, there isn't any egg, is there? No.
What
No,
about
it's alright.
squirrels?
What about squirrels?
Do you think they eat pizza?
Yeah, maybe. Have you ever fed pizza to a squirrel?
They probably would.
Yeah. I've got a hamster. It's a bit like a squirrel, isn't it?
No.
He's called Sausage.
I think the closest thing to a squirrel you can have is a ferret.
What you mean is like a everyday kind of pet,
Hmm.
rather than just go to the park and kidnap a squirrel. You totally would.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like artichokes, even on pizzas. I also like calzone, the ones they fold up.
I also like the square pizzas.
Yeah,
They're more logical.
they are more logical.
But what do you prefer, thick crust or thin crust?
Do you like
I
pizza?
love that baby cat.
What, the cheesy one? Do
Yeah.
you like thick base or skinny base?
Big.
Thick base, cheesy crust.
Yeah, I prefer thicker. Thin's a bit.
So I don't know.
We need to do we?
I don't know what I
Do
prefer.
we?
Too chewy?
Yeah.
What, a thin one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like I like the thin ones, but sometimes it depends what mood I'm in. So like if I'm really tired or I've had a bad day, I want a thick base because that's like stodgy unhealthiness, isn't it? And it's just one of those things. Whereas if I want like a fairly healthy pizza, I know pizza probably isn't the best healthy topic. I'd go for a thin one, kind of lighter. Jack, why don't you like pizza? What is it you don't like about it?
I don't really know, like the stuff that's on it. The kind of stuff they usually put on there, I just don't favour. I usually had pizza back in my old college at William Morris. We had pizza every Saturday, I think, up there, and I could never finish one slice. I just did not like them.
Oh. Do you like cheese?
What kind of cheese?
Like stringy cheese?
Maybe.
What about tomatoes?
Well, I don't mind eating it next to pasta, that kind of thing, maybe.
Okay.
Stringy cheese does not count as cheese.
Okay, mozzarella. Robert, do you like pizza?
Yes.
Maybe too doughy.
Maybe too doughy?
Yeah.
Too doughy, maybe?
doughy stuff, pretty everything about it. I just don't particularly like. I don't hate, but I don't particularly like. Okay, done.
I want to
fair
eat
enough.
pizza now.
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
like
get some.
domino.
Do you? It's too salty. Too salty.
I think we should wrap this up now.
How are we gonna wrap it up?
With some weapon paper.
Rub.
Or we just have to say thank you for everybody for listening, won't we?
Who's saying that?
Well, thank you for listening.
Epic NW.